Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the dusty annals of history to uncover the legal oddities of the Middle Ages. The medieval world was a place of extreme faith and rigid social structures, where the law reached into every corner of life. From animals on trial to combat in the marriage bed, these laws were as surreal as they were strictly enforced. Let's count down the top 5. Coming in at number 5, animal trials. In the Middle Ages, the concept of justice wasn't limited to humans. Animals like pigs, cows, and even insects could be formally charged with crimes ranging from theft to murder. They were assigned lawyers, had witnesses testify against them, and were subject to the same rigorous legal procedures as any man. One of the most famous cases occurred in 1386 in Falaise, France, where a pig was tried for the tragic death of a young child. The pig was found guilty and sentenced to be executed. Bizarrely, it was dressed in human clothes for its public hanging. To the medieval mind, this wasn't madness. It was a way to restore the moral and divine order disrupted by the animal's act. Number 4, marital duels. When a husband and wife faced an irreconcilable legal dispute, the court sometimes ordered combat. The law aimed for fairness through specific handicaps. The husband was placed in a waist-deep hole with one arm tied behind his back. The wife, meanwhile, was free to move around the edge of the pit, armed with a cloth sack containing a 3-pound stone. This was a form of trial by combat, where the victor was believed to have been chosen by God as the one telling the truth. These duels were brutal and often ended in serious injury or death, a stark reflection of the era's reliance on physical proof of innocence. Thankfully, this is one tradition that didn't make it into modern marriage counseling. Moving on to fashion. Number 3, sumptuary laws. In the Middle Ages, what you wore was a matter of law, not just personal style. These laws were designed to keep the social classes distinct, preventing the rising merchant class from dressing like the nobility. Take the Krakows, for example. These absurdly long-toed shoes were so popular that laws restricted their length based on rank. In 15th century England, wearing points longer than 2 inches could result in a hefty fine if you weren't a lord. The laws even dictated your dinner menu. A 1336 English law banned anyone from having more than 2 courses per meal. Exceptions were made only for major religious festivals like Christmas, where a 3rd course was finally permitted. Number 2, outlawry. To be declared an outlaw was to be erased from the protection of the law entirely. An outlaw was caput lupinum, having the head of a wolf. They were no longer considered human in the eyes of the court. This meant anyone could hunt you down and kill you without fear of prosecution. You were quite literally outside the law. Your property was seized, your family rights were dissolved, and your very existence became a struggle for survival. Pardons were rare and usually required high-level political intervention. For most, outlawry was a slow and lonely death sentence. It shows how vital the community was for safety. Now for the most surprising ban of all. And finally, number 1, the banning of football. But this wasn't the sport we know today. It was much, much more violent. Medieval football, or mob football, involved entire villages and had almost no rules except get the ball to the goal. Broken bones and even deaths were common. But King Edward III didn't ban it because of the carnage. He banned it in 1349 because it distracted men from archery practice. England needed longbowmen for its wars. The punishment for playing football instead of practicing your aim. 6 days of imprisonment. Archery was the law of the land. These laws might seem absurd today, but they were the threads that held medieval society together. They reflect a world where faith, class, and military readiness were the ultimate priorities of the state. Which of these 5 laws was the most shocking to you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip through history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more weird and wonderful facts. See you next time.